Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Rose's Randoms. My name is Amanda Rose, and this is a channel where I will be literally talking about any and everything I feel like, because I don't feel like making a channel that's just subscribed to just one thing. I'll be doing movie reviews, I'll be talking about books, I'll be doing fashion, maybe hair stuff, but possibly mainly just movie reviews and book reviews because I'm a huge movie fan and I love reading books. So yeah, so if you're into that, please subscribe. And so yeah, today I am going to be talking about the movie Wicked. So I went to see this movie back in November, and then I saw it again the beginning of January. So the beginning of this month, and I liked it just as much as I did the first time. So if you've been living in a hole all this time and you haven't watched the movie Wicked, Wicked is pretty much about Elphaba, who is a misunderstood young woman due to her green skin, who makes friends with Galinda, who is a popular girl, wherein they meet at Shiz University in the land of Oz. And after an encounter with the wonderful Wizard of Oz, their friendship meets a crossroads. So let's get right into it. Did I like this movie? So as I said at the beginning, I loved this movie, hands down. Loved it. Okay. All right. So let's get straight into these dislikes, because one of the dislikes that I had about the movie, not necessarily the character himself per se or the actor playing the character, but more so like how the character is supposed to be depicted, I guess, and that is Fiyero. So let's start with, there's a line that Galinda says to Elphaba. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's when Elphaba is about to leave to go to the Emerald City, and Galinda says to her, oh, how she's worried about Fiyero because he's been thinking. And watching the movie, I'm like, what does she mean he's been thinking? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Fiyero never came across as someone who was dumb or did not think or, was passive or anything like that. He didn't come across as that at all. So that line confused me a little bit because I was like, I don't know where that's supposed to be coming from, But now that I think about it, maybe I'm wrong about my analysis, because maybe it's not necessarily that we're supposed to believe that Fiyero is dumb, but maybe we're just supposed to be seeing Glinda's shallow view that she has of Fiyero, right? I mean, just before this, she does say that she is starting to feel things for him beyond just their compatibility because they both, I guess, look good and are both popular, right? But also I just think that maybe this could be Galinda's shallow view of Fiyero, that she never even really viewed him as someone who could think or would think, and we see that with Elphaba. When he's around Elphaba, he does in fact have a mind, and he is in fact caring. This could also allude to Wicked Part 2 and also the Wizard of Oz movie, where he is, sorry, spoiler, he's turned into a scarecrow, and the scarecrow famously does not have a brain, right? And so it could also be trying to allude to that as well. While we are on the topic of characters, let's talk about Nessa Rose. Now, I, again, want to preface this by saying I have no problem with The actress who played Nessa Rose, I thought she did phenomenal, but the character of Nessa Rose thoroughly upset me throughout this entire movie. So Nessa Rose is Elphaba's younger sister, who is the reason Elphaba is even at Shiz University, because her father asked her to stay with Nessa to watch over her because Nessa is in a wheelchair, and their father is very protective over Nessa Rose. And even though he doesn't seem to very much like Elphaba, he clearly trusts her with taking care of Nessa Rose. And the problem I have with Nessa is that Elphaba, it seems like, has been sticking up for her sister. If you watch the movie, you clearly see that Elphaba has stuck up for her sister throughout their childhood, and now she's meant to watch over her. However, when Elphaba is being picked on and looked down upon, for example, at the Ozdust, Nessa does not stand up for her. She doesn't say anything. In fact, she kind of just confirms Elphaba's insecurities that she has within herself. And when Elphaba is like, "Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that," at the beginning of the movie, when Elphaba is sticking up for her, or rather when I think Elphaba was sticking up for herself when everybody was looking at her when they first came in because she's green, and Elphaba is pretty much like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have done that." Nessa Rose is like, "Yeah, you shouldn't have." Or when she tries to stick up for her and stop the teacher, I forget her name, from like wheeling her out because she's like, she can do it herself. And even though, yes, it causes a scene, Nessa doesn't seem to appreciate this at all. Now, I could understand that maybe she feels like she's in the shadow of Elphaba just because of all the scenes that Elphaba constantly makes because she is green and because she gets that attention because she's green, and maybe she always causes a ruckus with this magic that she doesn't really understand, and maybe Nessa Rose is tired of that. But also, they're sisters, and your sister has stuck up for you all these years, and it just really upset me to like the 10th degree. It got me so mad. Even she couldn't even be happy for her sister at all at times. She was too busy thinking of herself. When Elphaba was getting ready to go on the train to Emerald City, all she could do was obsess over how Bach was staring at Glinda, and clearly she was upset about that. But she didn't even, right before that, she didn't even seem like she was that much into her sister going off to meet the wizard, right? She didn't seem to care at all. It just seems like she was very much into herself and didn't care about standing up for her sister, taking up for her sister, taking her sister's side. She didn't seem to care about any of that, and that, it really made me so very upset. So what are my likes about this movie? I have to say I have so many likes for this movie, but we're just going to stick to a few because I don't think I even know all of the likes that I have for this movie, because I just feel like it was so good. It was so well made. And so I really don't have anything negative to say about the movie as a whole. So likes. Obviously, singing and acting were phenomenal. I thought that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name, but I thought the both of them really and truly embodied the characters the way that they were supposed to be embodied, and they portrayed the characters the way they were supposed to be portrayed. I really do feel like they put their all into these characters, and the emotion that was on screen, it was evident that they did. They really played off of each other so well. I almost like, I forgot that, I didn't really forget, but like, because she hasn't acted, I guess, in so long, I almost forgot that Ariana Grande acted before this. She was on Broadway. And, you know, seeing her act in this so many years later, even when I saw her on Victorious back on Nickelodeon, even though I didn't really watch the show like that, I do remember her acting on that. And like, I can't even compare, to be honest. I thought that she was amazing. Her comedic timing is like on point. Like, seriously, I laughed so much at her scenes and throughout her scenes. And the fact that she was also able to portray that like sorrow, that emotion at the beginning of the movie, in No One Mourns the Wicked. Like, I really didn't expect the movie to open like that. And it was like, I was almost crying already and the movie just started. Like, she was so good. And her voice in that, like, listen, I knew Ariana Grande could sing, but I didn't know she could sing like that. I was amazed. I was astonished. I was so impressed. I was like, this in the movie theater, like, oh my goodness. Like, I wanted to clap so bad, like I was watching a Broadway. Like, it was great. And Cynthia, okay? Cynthia. I think her ability to also show her emotion, show that sadness, but also in a way that anger, that annoyance at people constantly judging her, right? I really think that that is something that, at least for me, it really resonated with me. And I really think she did so well with showing that on screen. And I think it showed with every song that she sang and with every action that she did. It showed in her face and in her body movement. It showed, like, it really did. She did so well. I almost cried when they were at the Oz Dust and she walks in and she's wearing the hat that Galinda gave her. And she's walking down these stairs and everybody's staring at her and everyone is laughing. And it also hurts your heart a little bit more when you know that before this, like, Galinda is in her room getting ready with her two terrible friends. And, you know, like, she's like, oh, this hat, right? Like, it's so hideous. I think she said her grandmother gave it to her or something like that. She would never wear it because it's so hideous. And they're like, oh, you should I wouldn't even give it to the person that I hate the most or something. I think she said she would give it to the person she hates the most. I'm not sure. But anyways, her friends are like, oh, you know, and obviously that means like, oh, let's give it to Elphaba. And she gives it to Elphaba. And because Elphaba thinks this is a nice gesture, she goes to Miss Morrible and tells Miss Morrible, hey, like, you know, because Galinda's been wanting to be trained by Miss Morrible to be a sorceress because that's her dream. And Miss Morrible's like, oh, I'm only taking one student. She doesn't believe in Galinda at all. But Elphaba thinks that Galinda made such a nice gesture. And so she decides to go to Miss Morrible and put in a good word for Galinda. And then Miss Morrible comes to the Ozdust ball and gives Galinda a training wand because of what Elphaba did, because she thinks that Galinda did her a favor or a nice gesture by giving her the hat. And so it hurts your heart that much more to see her coming in and everyone is laughing at her. And then she comes onto the floor and she starts doing this weird dance. And then the tears start coming down her face. I'm telling you, I was angry and sad all at the same time. Angry because of Nessa Rose. Like, how you just how you just linger there while people are laughing at your own sister. Unbelievable. And so that made me angry and sad at the same time, that it's like, wow, your own sister won't even stand up for you, won't even say anything. And then just like her emotion of just feeling like the outsider and the outcast, and like feeling like, you know, people won't accept you no matter what. You know what I mean? And a little thing that I also have to say about that is when Galinda, you know, she feels bad about what she's done, and she joins Elphaba in doing this dance, and then, you know, her friends at first are like, oh, what are you doing? Don't do that. And she's like, I have to, right? And then when she starts doing that, everybody else starts doing it because Galinda's the popular girl, right? And then everybody's all in on it and laughing. Even her sister Elphaba's sister joins in. And honestly, it still made me upset, because it was like, you're not doing this in support of her. You're doing it because the popular girl did it. And then the next day, or however long after it is, I believe it was the next day, she's running through school, and all of a sudden everybody's saying hi to Elphaba, right? Only because of the popular girl. And I can't lie, it made me upset. It made me upset because you don't like her for her. You like her because the popular girl likes her now, and you want to fit in and you want to be in the in crowd. But I guess that is kind of part of the message. Not the full message, but I do think that's one of the messages here. And then obviously the last part that I was going to cry at, well, I did cry at, was when Elphaba is singing Defying Gravity. Man, I cried. I did cry. Like, all of that emotion, I think that it was building up within her throughout the movie, and it comes out in Defying Gravity, especially at that final cry. I think her choice of singing that way, amazing. Like, I've never watched seen The Wicked Broadway, but I definitely have seen Idina Menzel's her first version of Defying Gravity. And that last note is what attracted me to the song, because I thought she sounded amazing. So when I first saw this sneak peek of Cynthia Erivo singing it the way that she sang it, I was like, oh no, she changed it. No, she put a riff in there, right? But once you watch the movie and you see and you feel all of the emotion that she feels in this movie and she goes through, and that final cry, it really does it. It really does do it, truly. And hands down, amazing. And so lastly, would I recommend this movie? Of course. I will always recommend this movie, okay? I can't wait to watch it again. I think, for me, this was the best movie of the year. I think all of the actors and actresses were perfect for the roles that they played. I thought everyone did phenomenal in the roles that they were chosen for. Not just Cynthia and Ariana Grande, the whole cast. I think the director did phenomenal as well. Like, this movie was amazing. It's still in theaters, right? And on streaming at this point. And so yeah, I would definitely recommend this movie. My rating, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 recommend, guys. So yeah, if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button down below. Please like my video. Comment what you thought about the movie. Did you like it? Disliked it? What didn't you like about this movie? What did you like about this movie? I'd love to know what other people thought as well. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, share this video. Bye.